loves. This is Megan. Thank you for tuning in to our first session of Lessons in Love. Today we're talking about the different stages in a relationship, and I have two guests with me who will be discussing it with me.
What up, world? This is Justin Martinez, aka J Rock from Swerve Music Group. I'm the married one out the group.
Hello, this is Marielle. I am in a relationship.
And she also my own personal hairstylist.
Mine too. She did my braids.
Call me.
So basically, we have single, which is me. I'm the single one. We have single in a relationship, and then we just have married. That's it. So
She's gonna throw me to the wayside.
Right. So stages of a relationship. I guess I would start with me being single. I feel like that's the most important stage in anybody's life. When you are by yourself, you are able to get to know who you are, good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And then you can reflect. Like, say you just got out of a relationship. You can figure out what you did wrong, what you did right, different things that you can do to improve yourself. I feel like if you don't know who you are when you're alone, you can't be in a relationship. You can't, go to the next phase of being with someone if you don't know who you are. And more often than not, we tend to lose ourselves in a relationship, but sometimes we also tend to find ourselves in a relationship. We find out more about who we are when we're with someone. So I feel like when you're single, you can take that knowledge, and if you're wise, you take that knowledge and kind of expand on it, and you become better because of the things that you've learned from previous relationships. If that makes sense. Does that make sense to y'all?
That makes sense. I see where you're coming from. I mean, as far as being single, the best part about it is you're alone.
Right.
People look at it as the worst part of just being lonely, but that's really a good place to be in. You ain't got to worry about nobody else. You ain't got to worry about contacting nobody. I'm on my way. Oh, right. I'm going to the store. Oh, I'm doing this. You can just go wherever you feel like it. Crash at somebody's crib. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to worry about going here, going there, checking up on somebody, doing this, that, and the third. You get to really experience life for yourself and really get to, like you said, learn. You know what I'm saying? More about who you are.
And the Bible also says being single is better because we can focus all of our attention on God.
Absolutely.
Because when we're married, it kind of divides the attention. Not saying that we lose focus of God, but just my interpretation of what the Bible is saying is
you have less to think about.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So as far as being in a relationship, though, do you feel like you're still, even though being in a relationship is not being married, do you feel like you still have single tendencies that are okay with being in a relationship? Or is it basically being married but without the title?
Well, as far as that, I feel like it depends on the person. Because if you're not married, if you're single in a relationship, most people look at it as I don't have the title, so I can still have my single tendencies, or I can still think like a single person. Mm-hmm. But for others, it's a little more serious because the goal may be marriage. So you may be getting in a relationship with the goal of marriage. So you may take it a little more serious than somebody who, really, really, really embraces their singleness, but are in a relationship with somebody they care about or somebody they love, because you may say, okay, well, I'm with him, but I don't have the ring. So I can still do this and this and this like a single person.
So being in a relationship, I think the goal should be marriage. I shouldn't just be having all these relationships just to have.
Right.
I feel like the relationship, the end result should be marriage. Or, I'm sorry, not the end result should be, that should be the goal. If you just find out that ain't there you go. The intention should be marriage. I don't feel like we should just randomly go out here and create soul ties with all of these people
And
for it to be no, you know what I mean?
And again, that's what I was saying, is that people's intention.
Right.
Like, if you walk into it with the pure intention of the goal or a thought being marriage, then that's the mind frame you have. If you're just going in a relationship to see what the person is about, to see, and you're still walking in your singleness, like, it can go both ways. It all depends on the person, And I just, for me personally, yes, if I'm in a relationship, like I am, I'm totally focused on heading in that direction. It is good when you're in a relationship to have girls' night. It is still good to go out with the guys. It is still from time to time, to keep your individuality. Because even
you don't want to lose yourself in the relationship.
Correct.
And women, I know from personal experience, women more so lose themselves in a relationship more so than a guy would.
X.
Right.
Because I think a woman's intention when they're with a man is to dedicate themselves solely to that man.
Right.
So it's easier for us to be like, okay, I really like him. I'm really feeling him. I really want to take it to the next step in a relationship. These are the stages of relationship.
Right.
I really want to take it to the next step. I'm going to show him that, I want to, be totally committed. I don't want to show him that I want to act single.
Right. With that being said, I feel like that's out of the order of God, because I feel like the man should lead. We and I've done it before. That's why I can speak on it. Like, I've been there and like, okay, I want to take it here with him, but he won't mind. You know what I'm saying? So if I would have allowed him, or if I would have followed his lead, the breakup would not have been so emotionally devastating. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like you were just saying, like when you meet somebody, you're getting to know them. I feel like you should stay being single now, because I've been single for a couple months now, but I feel like the friendship part is so important in a relationship. I feel like being single, it's okay to have friends. It's okay to communicate with the opposite sex, to get to know them, and then not be on a sexual type of level.
Right.
Getting to know them as a friend, I feel like, lets you know if you want to build a relationship with them, because it's some things that as a friend we will notice that we wouldn't necessarily, that we would hide in a relationship.
Right.
Like, we kind of like show our representative to somebody that we kind of peeping and, all right, I'm kind of feeling him, or I'm kind of feeling her.
Right.
And I feel like we meet their representative versus who they truly are. And I feel like as a friend, because this is me personally, I want to marry my best friend. Mm-hmm. I want to be in a relationship with my best friend, or one of my best friends. But I want to get to know who he is inside and out. Like, I don't want it to be fake. I don't want to have to be fake around him. I want him to see the real me, and I want to see the real him. Mm-hmm. And I feel like as a friend, because like my last relationship, I knew him for like years. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And we were friends for years. So coming into a relationship, I'm thinking I'm okay. Like, all right, I've known him since forever. Like, I'm safe.
In a relationship, it changes the tone of it, because it's your best friend, right. But now, because you want to take it to actual relationship,
those different feelings are there, or they're coming about.
Yeah, but you're expecting differently. When they're just when they're just your friend, and you're just friends, and you talk about different things. When you actually put a title as, okay, now we're in a relationship, you kind of expect different things. The standards the
expectations are higher.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then the disappointment goes up too, because if they don't meet your expectations, you're hurt in a different way than you would be if it was just like your friend.
Exactly. So it kind of changes the tone. I mean, you can marry your best friend, but when you're in a relationship with somebody, not all the time are they going to be your friend, because it gets interesting. You kind of you kind of learn a different person, or you kind of, you have to you experience different things, because now, okay, you're like, okay, well, we're best friends, but does he really want to marry his best friend, or does he really want to,
What?
Yeah, that's like looking at shit. That's like him looking at his boy, like,
I mean, it really depends on the situation. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be my best friend, like, we've had conversations about it on several different levels. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to be my best friend, I need to be able to be myself when I'm with you. So if I can't be myself, if I have to always treat you like my lover, you know what I'm saying? To me, that I have an issue with that, because I don't want you to always have to treat me like your lover. I want to be your confidant. I want to be your best friend. I want to be there for you to be able to cry on my shoulder and be able to build you up spiritually just as much as I want you to build me up spiritually and hold me accountable to certain stuff. So I'm saying, like, I don't want to just have to be super Justin all the time. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to just be Justin. I don't want to have to be J-Rock. I don't want to have to be all these extra different people. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to be vulnerable in that space. So if I can't be vulnerable in that space, then it's just like, it's a problem, because it's like now I'm looking for vulnerability in other areas. And so that's what a lot of people, like, everything that y'all was saying was good points. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of this stuff is never discussed, and that's the issue.
Yeah.
Because if it's never brought to the table, then it's just like everybody's going off of assumptions. Or just their own.
Or people are scared to talk about it.
Right. Either people are scared to talk about it, or people go off of their own experiences and their own assumptions. So if I'm cool with, you know what I'm saying, still having single tendencies and being in a relationship, but I don't express that with you, you might have a problem with that.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? But if we never talk about it, you know what I'm saying, it might blow up in a fight one day. You know what I'm saying? Instead of us actually being upfront, well, what do you expect out of a relationship? We don't think to ask these type of questions when we, all right, you my girlfriend, all right, you my boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Or all right, we trying to move closer. It's a lot of important questions, you know what I'm saying, outside of the bedroom that go unanswered and unasked, because it's just like either we not thinking about it, or we don't think it's that deep, or we don't think it's that serious, or we just worried about other things. And it can be other things just in life, trying to get somewhere, you know what I'm saying, success-wise. You know what I'm saying, trying to get somewhere just in life and just be accomplished. Sometimes that can take main focus over little stuff, but it's important to have a dialogue and have a discussion about it, because it's like, if nobody ever talks about it, how can we come together? Like the Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree? You know what I'm saying? But how can we agree if we don't ever discuss nothing?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I can't just go off your head now thinking that, okay, she wanted me to go to the kitchen and cook something, but you was just nodding off because you was sleepy. You ain't had nothing to do with you wanting food. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't prepare the whole meal, wasted some food, because I thought your head nod meant go cook something. So I did that. And now we both disappointed. Right. You sleepy. And now I done put all my effort into making this meal, and now I'm upset because you sleep.
Right.
And I just made this.
Communication.
Right. Going from single to in a relationship, the communication factor is definitely number one.
Yeah, because, I mean, as you were speaking of friendship, okay, I could be thinking, okay, we best friends or whatever. We vibe, we do this, we get along really good, but a breakdown in communication could be like, I'm not going to tell him, or I'm afraid to tell him that I really like him, and I want to, I'm afraid to tell her, or I don't want to express to her, she think we best friends, I'm going to just keep it going the way it is,
I think that has to do with your confidence too. Like being single, I feel like that's the perfect opportunity to build self-confidence, and you have to know who you are. Like, I just asked the question, like, being single, being a female, is it possible to ask him on a date and still be found? Because, the Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. So, me being single, I'm gaining, that confidence where I would normally have lacked it before. But because it's just me, I'm learning who I am. God is, not to sound churchy, but I feel like God is showing me who I am in him. And with that, I feel like confidence is being built. So if I see a little 1-2, I'm like, dang, I want to know who he is. Is that appropriate for me to go out and say, hi, how you doing? Like, would you like to go get some coffee or go get some tea or you know what I'm saying, like want to go to Starbucks, tropical smoothie.
I honestly don't see anything wrong with
that.
Right? With trying to get to know someone or being interested in somebody.
But I've also got the feedback of it's a confidence thing, because if we connect or if we see each other and he doesn't approach me or if he doesn't approach the girl, he's not interested. That's
not always true. So
and
this is speaking from an individual who grew up being the shy brother. in most situations.
With that being said,
that's not always true.
I've heard that confidence is a turnoff. If you have lack of confidence, like if
it really. I feel what you're saying, because I've heard it on both ends, on both spectrums, right, when it comes to men seeking women and women seeking men. Right. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like you said, confidence is built when you start to understand who God is in your life and who He created you to be. You know what I'm saying? That's when true self-confidence comes into play. So putting that into perspective and understanding that that's what I really need to focus on when I'm single and by myself and have all the time and energy to do whatever it is that God purposed me to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Then that's what I should be focused on. If it's being successful, if it's getting somewhere in life, you know what I'm saying? Getting into a position or a job that I can actually be effective. You know what I'm saying? Whether I'm making the most money or not making the most money, but just be effective at what I do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's different aspects where we should put our focus. As far as like confidence and stuff like that.
Or if he doesn't, he's not interested. He's not interested.
Right. Yeah. That's not always necessarily true. It could be several reasons why a dude doesn't approach a female that has nothing to do with him necessarily not being interested. He could be in a relationship. He could be about to start in a relationship, just got out of a relationship, or he could just be actually genuinely shy, like, and just not really have the confidence in himself to make that first step and that first move. So, I mean, to answer your earlier question, I don't really see it as an issue of a woman asking a dude out, you know what I'm saying? But it's all on how you approach it, and it's all on your demeanor. If you come at me with ratchetness, you're gonna get curbed, and that's just facts. Like, I mean, you come at me ratchet, you're gonna get the curb. You know what I'm saying? Or you might get one night and then the curb, but that, I mean, that's just the.
But it's not going to be a substantial
right. It's not going to be. It's not going to be something
gonna
substantial.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't even gonna go there, but I'm saying even if that one night turns into an eternity, because now y'all got to see. But it's still.
That's what I'm saying.
But you gotta be careful. You know what I'm saying? You got to be ready.
Got to be more careful. That is terrible.
And I was listening to what you were saying, and piggybacking on the fact of. The stage of communication. You were saying that if you know who you are in God, or if you know, and you were saying, communicating and, would I be wrong by approaching him? Mm-hmm. Well, after you approach him, you're going to state your intentions and who you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be your confidence.
The initial.
Yeah. Well, not the initial,
Right.
The initial, of course, is the meet and greet.
Right.
But, you're going to, as it goes on, you're going to see, discernment kicks in somewhere.
Facts.
And, you're like, okay,
I'm not
really feeling it like my eyes were, like my flesh was at the moment.
Absolutely.
But my discernment is kicking in and my mind is saying, okay, yeah, you need to leave that alone, know. So that's when you are comfortable in who you are. So you are comfortable with approaching, a guy. Another woman might not be.
Right.
May not be, because she feels like the man should do all the work, or
she could have been hurt in the past. Same thing with dudes. And that's a lot of things that we don't talk about. But if we got played by a shorty, you know what I'm saying? In the past, it's just like I've seen this take several routes, and it's really like a 50-50 situation where either the dude, all right, I just got played by a shorty, so I'm about to just go out here and wild out, and I don't care who gets it, but everybody's about to get this work. You know what I'm saying?
Until I'm done.
Fact. Until I'm
ready.
But I've seen females take the same route.
Yeah,
and it's,
absolutely.
Facts. And it's sad, but people be out there like that.
Yeah, they do.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like people experience, like, one thing I always say is everybody deal with hurt differently. You know what I'm saying? So everybody don't know how to handle stuff. You know what I'm saying? I might get hurt by a woman, you know what I'm saying, and be the dude to just wild out. You know what I'm saying? If, God forbid, me and my wife, if we ever broke up or whatever, or the situation ever came apart where divorce
Love you, Tam.
was the option, which is not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if just using that as a hypothetical example. Anyway, if that was to happen, you know what I'm saying, if I was the type of dude that, all right, now I'm hurt, so I'm about to just go buck wild till I feel like I'm done. You know what I'm saying? That would be a horrible approach, but I've seen people do it. And then I've seen other people just do it to the point where it's just like, you know what I'm saying, I just don't really want nothing to do with the opposite sex, and then they turn to alternatives, whether that be the same sex or whether that be just other things.
That's normally how it goes, though.
You know what I'm saying? And that's for men and women. You know what I'm saying? That's for men and women. I've seen dudes go to dudes after being played by a shorty. And I've seen shorties go to shorties after being played by a dude.
See, that's why I feel like, and I've always said this. I said, like, I've always made mention of this. When you, after a breakup, you should be single for at least a year.
Facts.
At least a year. And I say that because you got to have time to hurt. You got to have time to cry. You got to have time to be angry. You got to have time to get all of those different breakup emotions out. Because you don't want to make anybody else pay for what the previous person did.
Facts.
And for real, sometimes when you break up, you the reason why y'all broke up.
Facts.
So you still got to deal with yourself either way. Either way, if it wasn't your fault or if it was mutual or if it was, it doesn't matter. A year, and in at least a year. That's at least a year. Like, you should.
And that also depends on how long you was in the relationship too. Because if y'all was only bumping 6 months, it's
right.
Like,
Well, it depends on how intense the relationship was as well in the 6 months. Because a 6 month relationship can still be as intense as a 6 year relationship.
True.
It just depends on what y'all went through,
right? And
the
fruit
person,
that
the eggs,
may
the
have
foundation.
transpired.
There you go. See, you see what I'm saying?
After the seed was planted, so
a literal seed, a mental seed. That's right.
Various seeds.
Various seeds.
Right, and that's for another discussion because that seed, man, that could be a whole nother. That could preach, couldn't it? Seeds?
Come on, seeds. Various seeds.
Sowing over here, guys.
Right, sowing, seed sowing. But yeah, it's just.
I mean, the Bible did say we were sowers and waters.
Exactly. I just feel like people just and it bothers me to see. Like, people jump from relationship to relationship to relationship. What are you looking for? Obviously, I'm still single and 30 for a reason.
And I feel like that's an issue too. Not saying in your specific
I know
standard,
what you're about to say about age.
Yeah, about age. Like, I mean, I know you old, but
that's why I got it last time.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, we put time limits on so much stuff that don't really need time limits on it. Right. We feel like if we not here by 25, then we not living life. If we not here by 27, then we not doing it right. If we not here by 30,
biological clock.
Right. Everything started ticking. And I'm saying, my mama had me when I was 37. I mean, when she was 37. You know what I'm saying? So I was the baby of 8 kids. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I've seen it and grew up in an older family where it's been a situation where my mother had kids late. She lived life first and started working towards what she wanted to work towards, and then started having kids. You know what I'm saying? Her and my dad was married for a while before they ever had my sister. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, we shouldn't put a time limit because we be putting unrealistic expectations on ourselves that make us and force us into these bad decisions and bad relationships that would never for us. And it's just like
we get all depressed.
Right, we get all depressed, and then we throw it back at God. Well, God, why this happened? And I don't get it.
I was one of them too.
Right, and it's just like, be hitting the Kevin Hart voice. Oh no, no. But it's just like, nobody told you to go there. Like, nobody told you that. Like, your person could have been sitting there waiting for you. Facts.
And like, as being single, that goes back to being single, having the discernment to know who is okay or who God is saying, all right, you can be with that person, but still maintaining your personal integrity. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're single, all right, so this is me single, this is me in a relationship. Now, the goal is to be married, right? So I feel like going back to kind of the core of this session, the stages of the relationship, being whole single allows you to be better in a relationship.
Yeah.
But you can't, it just might be kind of off subject, but you can't be in a relationship with a broken person either. Because, and I've done that before too, being broken, being with someone who is also broken. Two broken people can't fix each other.
Thanks.
So I feel like, again, you being single, that's your time to be whole again.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you
And
have that
out
discernment,
with the old.
out with, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have that discernment, when you know who you are, when God is instilling in you the confidence that He wants you to have, and He's telling you the person that you're supposed to be, that'll allow you to sustain yourself and be with someone who's whole as well. God ain't gonna give you trash, and God ain't gonna allow you to be trash for nobody else neither. Because when it's from God, when He blesses, He addeth no sorrow to it.
Facts.
So I feel like men being single, women being single, that discernment that you were talking about as far as like coming together, even if it doesn't work out to marriage, like I feel like God allows all of us to be in each other's lives. If I meet somebody, I feel like that was God allowed it to happen for a reason.
Right.
So if I'm in a relationship with somebody, and that goes back to having a soul tie, like we want that connection, but we got to stop creating all these sexual soul ties with these people too, because that opens up a whole nother can
the worms
of of worms, of emotions, of everything. Like, it's crazy. So I feel like being single, and then being, the first stage of being single and knowing who you are, then it goes to the second stage of being in a relationship. I feel like that second stage of being in a relationship should be dedicated to being friends. Like we were talking about earlier, like that should be,
or more so getting to know each other.
Exactly, becoming friends.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, like if I meet, like when we were kids, and we would, we still friends with some of our childhood friends. We were still getting to know them. Like it's the, getting to know who could potentially be your wife or your husband for the rest of y'all's life. Because I feel like we would die still trying to get to know who we are.
And I feel like
know each other.
Not only getting to know the other person in a relationship with you, but getting to know yourself in a relationship.
Yeah, because it's a different ball game when you, like you were saying earlier, like you gotta call and check in. Yeah, it is. It's totally different.
It is.
But and that's where it comes back to the communication piece. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Communication is the key in all of what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? When you try to get into, well, first of all, communication with God is the key in becoming whole in the first place when you're single. Yeah. But communication when you're in a relationship, being open and honest with yourself first and foremost before anybody else is the most important thing. Because if I can't be honest with myself, how can I expect to be honest with you?
Right.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? If I don't love myself, how can you expect me to love you?
Facts. And it's just like, if we don't take these things into account, like a lot of times we try to bogart everything because of pride. Like, nah, I got it. Nah, I ain't got to tell them all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, that's our major downfall. And it says in the Bible, you know what I'm saying? Pride comes before a fall. But at the end of the day, it's like we continue to fall into that pride trap. Like, we not weak. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't got faults. And, like, we don't need to communicate in every area. You know what I'm saying? It's certain stuff that you have to communicate. You know what I'm saying? You have to be upfront about what you expect in a relationship. Otherwise, you're going to set yourself up for anything.
Intentions.
And that's men, right? That's men and women. You know what I'm saying? Your expectation is going to be on 1,000. Mine might be on 25%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, not on no humbug, but that's just how I was raised. That's just what I experienced in life. That's just how you was raised. That's just what you experienced in life. So if our expectation level is off, I will never be disappointed in you because I'm at 25, but you gonna always be disappointed in me because you're in 1,000 and I'm just not there. Right. So that needs to be communicated well, because it's right, and it's just like that has to be communicated well. Well, what do you want? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? You know what I'm saying?
Right. What
I'm not really
end all for you.
Right, right. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not ready for that serious of a relationship, I need to be upfront about it. Hey, I'm not there yet. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like I am, I need to be prepared to put in the work behind that. You know what I'm saying? I can't be like, yeah, I'm ready for that, but then just be chilling the whole time.
Beat me up, Scotty, and you ain't ready for the lights.
Facts.
Let's write this plan and make it plain.
Facts. And it's just like you got to be open on that prospect and just looking. I mean, I'm 5 years into mine, so it's just like that's all by God's grace. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Bare Feet Concrete. But you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of growth that transpires, because even in marriage,
Absolutely.
like you said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Once you married, that's it. But once you married, you still got to learn each other, even on a deeper level, because I got to know you even. Right, not only to keep it going, but just to grow together. If we're gonna build something, you know what I'm saying? I can't just build with you because you're a skilled craftsman. I got to know exactly how you architect this thing, like, well, how you structure the design of this house. You know what I'm saying? So I can complement what you're doing, and so you can complement what I'm doing. If I don't learn that, you know what I'm saying? If I don't share that, then how we gonna come together and build a proper house? How we gonna come together and build something that's gonna actually last? Facts. It's gonna be crooked.
Yeah,
right.
You can't have no crooked foundation. You got to build that thing from concrete.
Fact, you ain't gonna be living there long.
Exactly.
You on a crooked foundation, you gonna be
topsy-turvy.
Facts.
And I feel like the foundation starts when you're in the relationship, of course. Well, actually, I feel like the foundation starts with you. You can't come. Facts. You need somebody else to help build you a foundation. So if your single foundation is whack or is cracked or it's not strong or firm, you could cause the other person a crack in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a domino effect. When one domino fall, everything else start falling.
Right.
So if yours is shaky, you could potentially cause
them to
the
fall.
other. Exactly.
Right.
And the Bible also speaks about not
being a stumbling block.
Boom.
Right.
So you gotta make sure you are right. Like, I feel like single. Like, I wouldn't be like, if I don't want to say that. I feel like I'm still learning about myself. Like, my focus right now is my health. I don't need to be worried about nothing else but getting my health together.
Facts.
But I think when you single and in a relationship, if it's an issue like that, then if it's your health, the other person should be concerned about your health. Absolutely. Or vice versa. So it amplifies. You are single in a relationship, but now you do have somebody else to think about or to worry about or to be concerned with,
But that helps build y'all's foundation. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, me being like...
Or like you said, if you wasn't worried about yourself as single...
Right.
What makes you think I'm going to worry about your health when we together?
Exactly.
If I didn't take care of that while I was single.
You gotta love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you can't expect nobody else to love you. Like, if you don't love yourself, you don't know how to receive love, how to give love. Mm-hmm. You gotta worry about the different levels of loving and receiving love.
Or just considering other people. Considering somebody else's life.
And that's love. Yeah. All of that is in the realm. Exactly. It's in the realm of love. So if you don't even feel those things for yourself, how can you have the expectation for somebody to feel like that about you? How can you expect to feel like that about somebody else if you don't even do that? You don't even give your own self that type of what's the word I'm looking for? This type of consideration. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't.
Or reciprocation.
Exactly.
To know that if I do it for you, would you do it back?
Exactly. And being okay with the fact that most times people will not love you the way that you love them.
Mm-hmm.
Or yourself. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes back to the fact that something my mother instilled in me and my sister ever since we was little is everybody ain't you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And that's a lot. Going back to the expectation piece, everybody's expectation be on 1,000 because they feel like they give 1,000. Yes. But everybody ain't the giver of 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't do that.
Facts.
So it's just like I can't get mad when the 25% giver gives me 25%, but I get them
That's what they
1,000.
used to give him.
That's all
That
they
ain't
give.
true.
That's all they got.
can do.
Right.
That's all they can do.
That's all they got.
And
How I'm
you
gonna
can't
get mad at
them.
the mother who
Exactly.
gave her all, but it was only a penny. When the rich dude only gave a penny, but he got billions of dollars in the bank.
Exactly.
That don't go together. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna support the one who gave her all because that's what she had to give. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta love them.
Right, facts. Both of them. You still gotta love both of them.
Love both of them, and accept the fact that they just don't have the capacity right now to love you the way that you feel like they should love you.
And I feel like the verse where it talks about us being sowers in water is so key and critical because it says after the fact that we are sowers in water is that God gives the increase. You know what I'm saying? So we may never see that increase. We may never get to experience that increase.
Yeah.
But we need to be comfortable with just sowing and watering. You know what I'm saying? Just actually giving without expectation. You know what I'm saying? If I give to you, what?
Altruism.
I never heard of that word before.
Altruism is giving or caring without expecting something back.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, but but you're right. It does. Facts. But I was just saying, like, cause if I'm giving, you know what I'm saying, and that's even with you know what I'm saying, giving of yourself and showing love to those who don't know God. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't just do that just so you could come to Christ. I need to do that just because God called me to love. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Whether you show it back or don't show it back, I'm still here for you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
And that ties in
is.
with stages of a relationship to a friendship.
Facts.
You know, because so many times sometimes you don't understand why you friends with people.
Facts.
Ooh-wee.
You know, and
you right.
the stages get a little rough sometimes.
Sometimes it do.
And you know, it's like, okay, why am I so giving of myself to this person?
Right.
And this person it doesn't seem like they give two craps about me and my well-being.
Right.
Or
Right.
nothing.
You just taking,
Exactly.
taking. You know, and it's like that's
without pause too.
You know, that's when you know your purpose and you know what God has set you to do. You know, like you said, maybe God just want me to love them.
Fact.
Maybe, you know, God placed them in my life, you know, for me to show them example of love or to show them what it really meant.
And He honors that too.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're integral with people, even when they show you that
exactly
they don't care
who they are, and you should believe them.
And you're still...
We do be in denial like a mug, though.
Right.
We do be in denial. He ain't that bad.
Right.
He just called me with a 3-piece today. He ain't gonna do that tomorrow.
Exactly.
He just cheated on me 3 times. He ain't gonna do it the 4th.
I don't have time.
She just took all my money for no reason, but she ain't gonna do that when I actually make it. Right.
Didn't told my business.
Right.
Little preacher man. You
Right.
did all of that. I still love you though. Bless your little heart. No, but I feel like I know that God sees all of it. Like He knows your heart in the matter. He knows the other person's heart in the matter. And He's allowing you to be afflicted because He knows your heart. He knows that you're not going to treat that other person bad just because they treated you bad. And I'm also quick to apologize too, even when I don't do anything wrong. I feel like I'm always the first one to apologize.
Because you want no ill will. You want no person to feel, you know,
None.
because apologizing helps you too. You know,
right?
It's like, okay, well, this might have took a wrong turn, but I'm gonna apologize because maybe I did say something or maybe I did do something that offended you, but I don't know. So please forgive me for that, and I'm sorry if I did something to you. So it helps you. You know, it helps you too.
And I'm quick to do that too. Like if I feel like there's a issue between us, I'll go to you. I don't have the issue, but I feel like you have an issue with me, so I'll go to you and be like, you know, is there something wrong? Did I do something to you? Like, if I did, I'm sorry. It was never intent. It's never my intent to hurt anyone or to make anybody, you know, feel less than who they are. And I don't like the people who always try to get on you and tell you that you're wrong for feeling the way that you feel. You can't. How you gonna tell somebody they wrong for their feelings?
It's my feelings.
It's my feelings. So
get
how
out
can
my
you,
box of feelings?
And I'm not gonna apologize. I don't feel like I did anything wrong. Well, your spirit is wrong because it's not about you. It's about how you made me feel. No, it may not have been intentional, However, it still hurt me.
Fact.
And just like you said earlier, Jay, people grow up differently. The way you were raised wasn't how I was raised.
Fact.
So maybe how I was raised, I was brought up to internalize everything. And, you know, you got to take that into account when you go into any type of relationship. And a relationship, a friendship, with your parents, with your siblings, with people, with random people, you have to take into account that they are not you, and their feelings are not your feelings, their heart is not your heart. Like, you really have to be selfless.
Thoughts are not your thoughts.
Right. Like,
Ways
you
ain't
have
your
to
ways.
really kill your flesh
Facts.
and really take into account somebody else, because it's not all about you. Like, you cannot sit up here and have a friendship or have a relationship and expect everything to cater to you. You cannot do that. Like, you have to really recognize that, all right, in dealing with my girlfriend or in dealing with this relationship, you know, this love relationship or with a friendship, whatever it is, I have to take into account this other person. Like,
But the other person that don't think like you, don't love like you, don't feel like you, will be like, well, this is what I do. If you don't like it, don't be around me. You know, that's the tough people.
Yeah, it is.
That's
That
the people
is.
you
That
pray
is. That's
for,
crazy.
and
yeah,
you know,
still
but
gotta love
that
them.
goes to show, you know.
But that's
just-
where you got to take
just
that way
playing
of
the-
escape, though,
yeah.
too. Because
Yeah.
if you hitting me with that off top, then I need to know off top. Deuces. Like,
I mean, because you know
what I'm
when
saying?
any
I'm still pray for
relationship-
you while I'm leaving.
Because you know off top when any relationship is pure.
Facts.
You do.
Yeah, you do.
And the signs be there. We just be blind as a mug. Like, we be putting on the blinders like a mug.
Are
Yeah.
real.
Be right here though,
Yeah.
and we be like,
And
nah,
it's-
he don't mean it.
And
He don't
that's-
mean it. He right here.
You
Then
know,
to come
that's
this way,
life.
you know
Yeah.
what? That's a beautiful sunset.
Right.
We
That's
gonna go
life.
watch this together. Like, it be
Uh-huh.
like, yo, it's right in front of your
Yeah,
face the whole time.
Life in the stages of relationships you go through, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is denial. Sometimes it is, you know.
But I feel like those are just the people that were not meant to stay. You know, they're always seasonal people. There's life, and I think, and I really think this was TD Jakes, because I wrote about it in one of the love letters that I posted a little while ago.
Shameless plug.
Right. We have to stop confusing seasonal people with lifetime expectations. And anybody that we come in contact with, anybody that we meet, I feel like it's allowed by God. There are various levels to God in each of us. Some have different intensities than we have because we are more in tune with God. We've been with Him longer. You know, a baby is not going to have the same intensity that someone who's mature in God has. Like, it's two different things. So everybody that we meet, I feel like we all have different levels of God in us, and we could all learn from each other. But maybe we're supposed to get what we're supposed to get from that person and go on about your business. Like, we were not meant to be in our lives forever. So yeah, but I feel like going back to the stage of relationship, that's being single and in tune with who you are. You know, getting in tune with who God has called you to be, getting in tune with God, period. Because when you go to a second stage of a relationship, being in a relationship, if that person ain't for you, God is going to tell you. He's not going to allow you to just go through a relationship without giving you those red flags. He definitely ain't going to let you marry nobody that you ain't supposed to marry if you listening to him.
No, he'll let you.
Well, he'll let you,
but he will
gonna
get. He's definitely
right.
going to guide and try to direct
Exactly.
you. But at the end of the day, he blesses with free will for a reason.
Exactly.
So we be hard headed as a mug though,
Yeah,
and
we
then be
do.
mad at him because we hard headed.
Because we wanted to do what we wanted to do.
Right.
Right.
But
you
I
knew
will
you was
say-
messing with a married man. Why you mad?
Right.
Like,
See what I'm saying?
right?
Don't have time.
Like, you knew she was a thought when you met her. Like, why you mad?
Right.
Like,
do you have any closing thoughts?
I just want to say, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm 5 years into mine. Shout out to Tam. Man, just know yourself and know God. You know what I'm saying? Seek Him first with everything that you are. You know what I'm saying? Be whole. The Bible says that the two shall become one flesh when they get married. You know what I'm saying? It didn't say a half and a whole. It didn't say two broken people. It didn't say two halves, 2 quarter pieces. It said the two shall become one. So you got to be whole before you can make that leap. So what I would just say, man, just give your all to God. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're whole. Be honest and upfront with yourself. Be honest and upfront with your mate. You know what I'm saying? And when y'all take that leap, make it great.
Mari here. I'd say viewpoint in a relationship is like Justin was saying. First, know God. You know, I do say learn discernment, learn your purpose in that person's life. If you see yourself being married to that person, if you see yourself being able to be honest, being able to be valuable, being able to be that person's helpmate, if you can see that in a relationship and then you see it going to a marriage, then yes, keep those things in mind, and at the same time keep your individuality, in who you are, and being able to love yourself, and in return from being able to love yourself, being able to love that person, and just knowing your purpose in each other's life, making your intentions pure and clear with each other.
And I would just say, being single, if you're single, continue to get to know who you are, get to know who God has called you to be, who He wants you to be. Pray. God should be your best friend when you are not involved with somebody. And I'm speaking that to myself too, because as much as I think I talk to Him, or as much as I think I have a relationship with Him, it could always be better. Or as a single person, just learning how to discern His voice and hear from Him is very key with being single. And I can only speak it because I'm living it now. I'm learning how to be with God. I'm learning how to be alone. I'm learning how to be a wife in my singleness. So a lot of us want to be in a relationship so bad and want to get married so bad, but we don't even know how to do it. We don't know how to be married. We don't know how to be in a relationship because you don't know how to be single. So learn how to be single. Learn how to love yourself. Learn how to love others. And don't hold anybody else accountable for your happiness. When you lay your head down on your pillow, you are responsible for your happiness. It doesn't matter if you have somebody laying next to you or if you don't. You still responsible for your happiness. Thank you all for listening. Really appreciate you tuning in. Definitely check out Love Letters. It's under the Love Letters tab. I update the blog. It's a blog. I update it every Friday. So make sure you check that out. And we're going to start updating the sessions for Lessons in Love every Monday. So be sure to check that out. Please comment below. All feedback is welcomed. All positive vibes. But yes, feedback is very much welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and check out my social links below, and feel free to follow me.
And don't forget to follow me. Like I said, J Rock from Sword Music Group. Just go to swordmusicmedia.com. It's spelled like sword, SWORDMUSICMEDIA.com. All our mixtapes are up there for free. You can listen to them. Go to SoundCloud and Noise Trade. You can download them. You can follow me on Facebook, Justin Martinez. You can follow me on Instagram at JRock_Sword. Get at me.
Bye.